everyone, and welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today we got a very special guest, Adam, the bearded Four Eyes Man, and we'll be discussing The Bat Whispers from 1930. And so, before we get started, Adam, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hey everybody, my name's Adam, aka Bearded4Eyesman, and I am so happy to be here with Harrison today. So honored to be on the really old movies, and we're gonna be talking about a great really old movie, a fun one to start with right off the bat, 1930. Again, The Bat Whispers, and I am big fan of older movies and things like that. So just honored to be here.
Awesome. And you don't really have a channel or anything, but where can people kind of hear more from you about your thoughts on movies?
Again, Bearded For Eyes Man on Instagram there, and just kind of on some of the other shows that I'm on. I'm on a show with our good friend Rich. There, we're on. We're not supposed to even watch this week. It's our collaboration where we review Kevin Smith movies. We're doing his entire catalog, and just around. Everybody can look me up. If they have any questions about any movies I've been collecting since 1999. So when I got my first DVD, and have been collecting ever since. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, cool. Well, and I'll have links to all of that down below, guys, so make sure to follow him there. And so now let's get started talking about this film, The Bat Whispers. So, what has been your experience and introduction to this film, The Bat Whispers?
Well, kind of my experience with it has just been kind of twofold. Really, the first time I found it or got aware of it was that I love to collect really old DVDs, the old snap cases. For people that don't maybe
Yeah.
do not know what those are, it was the cardboard ones where you'd flip open the side and there'd be some things inside, the liner notes on inside on the cardboard, and the disc would be on the plastic there. And old company that I really like, and they still put out movies now. They're called Image Entertainment.
Mm,
Image did a series called the Milestone Collection. Was basically just a bunch of milestone film and video, just really old films that they basically Image's version of what like Criterion puts out. But this is the actual the DVD of the Bat Whispers
oh,
here.
wow.
It's for the Milestone Collection there, and obviously it's still sealed. This one I've never opened. This Milestone Collection. There's the back. Sorry for the glare there, but there's the characters. But
Oh, that's
uh,
so cool.
the Milestone Collection. Yeah, it's a video. Um, but this one, what really interested me in this because I collect these, still sealed snap cases, and I love the artwork, these old artworks. Um, but Image, just as a company, they put a lot of these milestone ones out. But what kind of got me intrigued by it was that it was one of the first, if not the first, maybe it wasn't the first, but a experimental widescreen version of this was made using 65 millimeter film in 1930. So you think about widescreen films; they didn't even become popular until you know 80s, 90s, even
Yeah.
later. So to have a film be shot in 1930 using widescreen it was just phenomenal, and I love these older gothic, what they call almost like old dark house movies where they were filmed in these creepy old mansions and things like that, or the story has something to do with that. That's what really got me interested in it.
That's awesome. Well, and I appreciate you showing all of that because, we were talking before off the air that so many of these movies, I mean, now it has a Blu-ray release, but for so long it was just on DVD or
Mhm.
even VHS, Laserdisc. So it's
Yes.
really cool that you have all that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that it was released on Blu-ray. As far as I knew, I only thought that the last one they had was the DVD of it, and I can honestly say I've never even seen what the Blu-ray looks like. But from what I could tell, I did watch it today on YouTube because I wasn't going to open up mine.
Right.
But yeah, and for the audience, just to say that the copy of this, at least on DVD, still sealed, does go for about $100 or so. And they're just becoming increasingly more difficult to find. But I did watch the YouTube version, which was the widescreen one, and it was in 4K from what I could tell, is what the little thing said, and it looked gorgeous. It was.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw, I think that's the one I saw too.
Yeah, for being a film shot in 1930 and what they did to bring it up to par, was very nice. I mean, I wish on some of those older films that they could really work on the audio, but I know that can be very tough, especially in a lot of the quieter parts. You really hear the film running in like the background, and it's kind of
Definitely.
somewhat distracting, but it's very minimal, at best.
Right. No, definitely. And well, especially ones where sound was brand new. They hadn't quite figured it out yet.
Oh yeah, very much so. No, I would agree with you there on that one for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into your thoughts on the plot. So let me bring this up here. What are
Yes.
your thoughts on the plot and what is your score for it?
Oh, absolutely. And we're going out of five. Is that correct, or is that
Yes, sir. Yep.
out of five?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, 4.5 at least out of five. Yeah. I mean, just such a great, plot twists, the ideas of what they throw at you, and where your eyes look and where they're not supposed to look, and even for something that old, it just really, I kind of tried to put myself back in a theater in 1930 watching this, and because many thousands of ideas that we see now in movies weren't out yet. So trying to put yourself
Right.
in that situation in 1930, looking at watching this film and seeing what goes on, and it's very. I love the plot. I thought it was great.
Nice. So 4.5, you said, right?
Yeah. What do you think? What were
Nice.
you?
Well, for me, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Gotcha.
Now, I like the story a lot. And I also, a few weeks ago, saw the 1926 film.
Mhm.
So, same director, I
Yes.
think a couple same cast members, I want to say,
Yeah, I
but
believe so too.
at least one or two of them. But I like the idea of the story. I just don't know about the execution.
Okay.
Um, just because I'm thinking in my mind, around this time you have Dracula, you have
Mhm.
Frankenstein, right? And to me, those stories, I guess, feel a little bit more gothic and epic. This
Yes.
one feels like a really nice, like, murder mystery dinner type thing, like a
Yeah.
theater. It really feels like a theater show
Yes.
because it is based off of a play, and I think that's really cool.
Yes.
I kind of like the more gothic stuff more personally, but
Yeah. I
I had
was.
a fun time with it.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you there. I mean, there's parts in it where it is a little, I want to say, not well, it's a little kitschy. There's a few parts of it that are quite kitschy, and you're like, okay, I see. Like the way the maid reacts a lot. Is it,
Yeah, the
and I get that
overacting.
she is the comic relief, and at that point in time in history, I'm sure a lot of things that she said or how she acted was very funny to the people watching it and how it was written. But plot wise, no, I like the plot of a guy breaking in and trying to do all this in front of the police, in front of the cops, and
Yeah,
in front of uh the guests, if you will, of this place. So I like that too.
yeah. I definitely would want to see it as a play. I think it'd be really fun to watch it.
Hmm. Oh yeah, like if somebody could bring that to Broadway or off Broadway, something like that, but really put it together, make the sets look really nice, like they did in the movie for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let's move on to the acting. What are your thoughts on the acting?
It's that one's it's kind of I don't know. I don't want to say it's not a toss up, but it's I 3.75, maybe a 3.5, something like right there in the middle. Yeah, I'd go with like a three, maybe a 3.75. Like kind of just almost four. I do love that old timey look that Chester Morris has. That old timey, very, sharp jawed,
Mhm.
detective looking guy. That kind of. I saw you from across the room. Say, yeah, like
Yeah.
that kind of like I love that, and the way that the niece of how she talked really high and fast, like the old I kind of dug that, and how just even reserved the lady who owned the house, or we was staying at the house, the oh, I forget the character there, but she was the one that was taking care of the mansion while
Mhm.
the guy was like her, how reserved she was. She's just knitting the whole time, not even really
Right.
doing it, kind of that thing. But yeah, I really I like how the characters kind of unfolded as the thing went along too. So yeah, I give it a 3.75.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I actually did like it a lot. Um, I wanna say I like it even more than the 26 version,
Mhm.
because to me, I really connected more, at least with these actors, than I did the other one. Especially, and we're okay spoiling it, the movie's 94 years old.
I
But
think it's gonna be okay.
I liked the guy who ended up being the bat. Like, I
Yes.
like kinda how sinister he was and how it kinda tricks you. I really
Yeah.
liked that.
That's Chester Morris. Yeah, that's it. That's
Yeah,
I
okay,
love.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's him, and yeah, his style and how he brought about the character, and the way he moved. I love the way his how fluid his movements are through a lot of it, and how you just see the hand and or like a
Mhm,
shadow. Yeah, that's very cool. And I'll tell you, when once we get to it, I know you're gonna ask me about it soon, but some of the cinematography in it is just off the chain.
definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you like the acting too. That's very cool.
Yeah. Alright, what are your thoughts on the directing?
I think it went in a really really good way. Of course, I can't say that I've really watched any of this director's other catalog, if you will, but this one is a great uh, opening to this director's work. If anybody, and if you don't mind me asking, I'm really kind of looking forward here. But who is the director of this?
Yeah, his name is Roland West, and
Yes.
he also did the 20s version of the film.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like his. I mean, at least the style for this. The style was very very well put together, very well thought out too. You could see he really cared about what he was putting on the screen.
Yeah, definitely.
And so yeah, I would say four for the directing on this. Absolutely.
Nice. I give it a 3.5, and the reason being, I was very impressed with how he basically made the exact same movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't see that. I've not watched the earlier one.
Okay. Well, I recommend watching it, especially after watching the 30s one, because
Yes.
it's almost shot for shot exactly the same.
Okay.
Even the dialogue, like the lady at the beginning, I've been with you through socialism,
Yes.
communism.
Yes. Yes.
That's in the 20s one too.
Wow.
It's probably in the play
Wow.
as well. But
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's almost, I couldn't imagine a director doing that today, taking a movie.
yeah,
Well, but I mean, I can imagine a director doing, say, a short film. Like I've seen directors who make a short film, like a 10-minute movie, and then they make it into a 60 or 80-minute film, and then you're like, oh, okay, I saw pieces of that in the 10 or 15-minute film, and the experimental film, and then they put it in the long one. But imagine
right,
a reshoot shot for shot of like Endgame. You'd be like, what the hell's the point, or something.
right.
But no, I could understand back then where you newer technology would come out, or new ideas about how to do something, but a shot for shot remake, yeah, that's pretty odd.
Yeah. What was interesting too, though, is how soon of a remake it is. because the
Yeah.
original came out in 26. This one came out in 30. That's only
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, well, my cast hasn't aged that much. I think we could throw him back in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. But
Mhm.
overall, um, I thought he did great. But if you've seen the other one, you're like, "But it's just the same thing again."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll definitely be happy to rewatch it because, again, I think it's a great story, a great film. But I'm sure portions of it are, different. I'm sure there's enough that I could be like, oh, that wasn't in that one, or vice versa.
Right, right.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I'd hate to, and you think of all the remakes that they're doing nowadays, or like a
Oh,
retelling of a story. Like I heard recently, one of my favorite movies of the modern age is, top five is American Psycho, and I heard they're remaking that again already, and I'm like, why? Why?
well,
I mean,
hi.
yeah, you can't. It's hard to beat Christian Bale's, portrayal of Patrick Bateman. I don't. I was like, I don't know even know who they would get to redo it. It just that boggles my mind.
Right. Well, I've never seen the movie, but I've obviously
Yeah.
seen clips from it.
Yes.
And yeah, how could you do better than Christian Bale? He's such an interesting actor.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, it was one of his most. It's one of his most iconic roles too. I mean, that's that. It would be as if, to me, as if you would, again remake Ghostbusters, but put not put Bill Murray as, Venkman, like just not doing
Right,
that. Like you'd be like, oh, there's another. I was like, no, that's not him. Like, why would you do that? That's Bill Murray's character. Don't do that.
right.
You
No,
know.
it's really weird.
Very much so, very much so. But yeah, I thought, like I said, this one's a great that Roland West. I'm gonna have to definitely try to find some of his other stuff to really. And this was. It looks like, if I'm looking at the picture there, correct. Was this his second film, or is it just how the little gifts there are put together?
These are his most popular films.
Okay,
And so Alibi, the only ones I've seen have been this movie and The Bat. But
okay.
what I know about the first one there, it was a Best Picture nominee in 29. That's all I know about
Oh, okay, okay.
it. So
Very nice.
apparently it's good.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out too. Very very, it looks like a just a wide catalog for sure.
No,
Yeah, how many total movies did he direct?
I think he just did 10. He didn't do a
10.
whole lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back then that was probably a lot for sure.
Yeah. Well, definitely in the beginning stages. Then you have
Yes.
people like well, like John Ford. He made like 200 movies.
Yes, yes, that's for
But he was
sure.
he was a workhorse.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of these, directors out there. Exactly. I mean, just think, or I mean, think of, just actors in particular. I mean, think of how many movies, John Wayne was in. Thinking
Right,
like that. I
right.
mean, just look at these type of actors back then who were in everything.
Absolutely. Very interesting how that's totally changed today.
Oh yeah, somebody, as you see them in a movie, and then they're in one more that year, and then like 2 years go by, and you see them in another one, and you're like, okay. But like you said, it was so new then. Everybody just wanted to be in everything.
Right. They did whatever they could.
Nice paycheck, yeah, back then. And of course, Hollywood is way different now than it was then.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not a lot, but it is.
Oh, 100%.
That's for sure. No, I
Oh,
appreciate you showing. I appreciate you showing everybody him and his work for sure.
yeah, I like to try and do that just so that people could see what else the directors have done and show it to
Oh
people.
yeah, I like it.
All right. Let's
Very
move on to cinematography. What are your thoughts on cinematography?
Oh yeah, he's easily a five. Easily a five on this one. The way that they shot this, and some of the experimentation they did with it, again, especially with the widescreen shooting of it for 1930. Is in 65 millimeter widescreen, and just the use of the miniatures throughout, a lot of it is spectacular. I mean, you can
Yeah.
see where had it been 1930, if you saw some of those special effects that they did, you're like, oh, this is off the chain. This is so cool. Like having the camera go up through, up the building and into the window, and a couple of the car chase scenes, and where they're on, you can see that they're on a track, but no one was probably looking at that in 1930. You just see
Right.
how well it was as filmed. And yeah, there are parts of it when they're in the house, where they're like running from room to room to room, which I think is really cool. But even with the stationary camera, which they use a lot, there's mostly just stationary. It's not really panned or anything like that, just stationary.
Right.
Um, still pretty strong showing for just stationary camera work, but very very intuitive in a lot of the use of shadows, and just looking at something around a corner, you could see how it was dark around a corner, how it got light and dark around another corner, even if it was just sitting the way it was. And of course it would have been phenomenal to see this in color, to see what it looked like back then. Would
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
been so beautiful to see how it was being shot and how it was set up, and things like that. But even for a black and white film, very very cool. I definitely give it a 5. What about you?
Nice. I gave it a 4, and I probably would have given it a 5 if I hadn't seen the other one,
Yes.
because, like I was mentioning, it's basically the same, but I still thought it looked really good.
Hmm.
Um, I love the scenes when they're it's basically a castle, the house that they're at. It's like a
Yeah.
mansion castle thing. I like those scenes, especially like when he's running around and like turn out the lights or kind of being sneaking around. I like those moments. Um,
Hmm.
I will say though, his costume here, so I pulled it up here. I actually like the 20s one more because the
Oh,
mask itself looks like a bat. It's kind of
yes.
crazy.
Yes. I do
And
dig that. Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
like.
To me, this just looked like a ski mask.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were working with what they had,
Sure.
at the time. Um, really, and I love the use of the shadows in the first couple scenes where you actually see him, and he does look like a bat. I mean, that's for sure.
Right.
Off the building and crawling up the side, and things like that, and how he did that. And just makes me think on some of those scenes, though. How you look at it now and you go, man, how much upper body strength did that dude have to do some of those?
Right.
Had it been a real, instead of a scene, had it been a real building, like a Jackie Chan sort of situation where he was crawling up the side of that building, how much upper body strength you'd have to do to do some of that stuff. But yeah, it's I like the costume, and I really like some of the later scenes where they're up close at his eyes and how they look really almost like bloodshot and things like that. I
Mhm.
thought that was really neat too.
Yeah. I
But
will
yeah,
say,
definitely.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I thought just a very well shot, and even the special effects were just quite good.
Definitely. I will say a funny scene for me in this that's also in the original is when he steps on the bear trap.
Yes, yes, yes.
And he's
I
just
very
dragging
much
it
so.
around, and it's
Yeah,
really
I
funny.
like the chain, and when you realize that the chain is still attached to the bed, and then it
Yeah.
throws her out the window. I dug that. But what I like though about that though is, you know, if you would really had he really stepped on a bear trap, I mean, you're not going to move. You're going to probably pass out from
Oh,
how
yeah.
painful that is. And of course they do like a more slapstick kind of version of it in that where he steps on this bear trap. But I'm like, man, you'd be bleeding out. You'd pass out from the pain. I mean, that thing is steel trap going into your leg like that. It's
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
even her throwing it out the window too. I'm like it's gonna land just right. Like it's gonna
Right.
like you wouldn't have to go out there and double check it to make sure that it landed face up or down.
It's all set. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all just assumed.
I also was thinking too, when they actually pull off his mask, it kind of reminded me of like Scooby Doo almost.
Yes, yeah,
I wonder if they're paying
something with.
homage to it a bit.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt. I mean, I think if the writers and directors of the original Scooby Doo cartoon in the '70s were young kids seeing some of these older films in the theater when they were younger, and or if
Right.
their parents took them to midnight showings or something like that, and they saw something like this, it would very much be an homage.
Yeah. And I will say too, I don't know if your version had this, but at the very, very end, a guy comes out and he's like, "Don't reveal it to anyone, make
Yes,
sure."
yes,
Yeah, I thought that
that
was kind of
actually
cool.
caught me completely off guard to know that I wasn't watching a movie, that I was watching a play as a movie. And like that
Right.
really like it threw me for a loop. That's why I was like, "Oh, crazy. I was watching a play the whole time. That's insane."
Yeah, it's like a teleplay almost.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it'd be really fun to see this at like a
Oh,
dinner theater or something like that.
yeah. Murder mystery dinner theater. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the music. What are your thoughts on the music?
Um maybe a 3 at best, only because um I didn't really even catch a whole lot of music through the whole thing, just kind of, here and there. It wasn't really something that was prominent, and if it was so low key in the back. I really have. Honestly, I wish I had more to say about it. It wasn't even something that I was particularly listening for, or could tell was going on, because that wasn't what I was paying attention to.
Yeah. No, I agree. I also gave it a 3. And you've seen Dracula and Frankenstein, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just like those movies, this movie, because it's, right after the silent era, really,
Mm.
they didn't have the real concept of synchronized music yet for like throughout the film as a score. It was more so just beginning and end. And to me, I kind of knock it down because there are moments where I think music would have elevated the scenes a lot more.
Oh yeah, a piano organ score, just in the
Yeah,
background, giving it some atmosphere, giving it some depth. Would have definitely pulled it through in a couple spots, especially where something jumps out at you, where like the
right.
fire, like the garage catches fire, and somebody's hand comes around the corner, a trap door or something opens, things of that nature would have definitely been where a score would have made it so good.
Absolutely. And that is a plus of the 20s film because it's a silent film. There's actually a score to it that really helps the mood and all that. So I thought that
Oh
was
yeah.
interesting too.
Oh yeah. I guess I would definitely like to see the now the silent version too, because I like a lot of the music from those old silent films. I think it really helps out a lot.
Definitely. Um uh, Ben Modell, I had him on the show a few weeks ago. His company just released the 1926 film on Blu-ray.
Oh wow. Okay.
He with UCLA, they did a 2K restoration of it, and he's a silent film organist, and he actually did the accompaniment in the DVD release or Blu-ray release.
Oh wow, that's very cool. I still would love to see a Blu-ray copy of this. I think that would be very very neat.
Yeah.
Wonder
So
I wonder if there's somewhere where you can purchase them from. Does he have a website, or do you know where one could be purchased from?
so you could buy it on Amazon. I'm still awaiting mine because I guess there's been a delay in the shipping.
Oh, okay, okay.
I think what because it's a smaller company called Undercrank Productions, and I think what happened was so many people pre-ordered it that they didn't have enough in stock.
Wow. Okay, so this is a bigger title in terms of older films than what I realized.
Oh yeah, and that's for the 26 film. The 30s one, I think Kino Lorber did. I want to say
Oh yes, Kino Lorber. I like how that they really came to prominence in the physical media market. Yeah. for sure.
definitely. I love a
Oh,
lot of their releases.
yeah, I think I found the Blu-ray version. I think it shows on Amazon. Yeah, it'd be $21 if you could order it, if it's there. But yeah, for the audience there, that the Bat Whispers there is the blue
Yep.
Blu-ray right there. Yeah, very, and it gets a solid, good ratings from those who watch. Oh, there was a 4.7 out of 5. Great restoration. I like all that.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
move
Can you
on
believe
to
that it's real quick? I was just thinking about
sure,
this.
sure.
Yeah. Can you believe for a second it's almost a 100-year-old movie?
Yeah. In a couple of years, it will be 100. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Very much so. Apparently it's VCI that did the Blu-ray of it, not Kino Lorber. It's VCI that brought that out.
Oh, you know what? When I saw it on YouTube, it said VCI on it.
Yeah, that's but yeah, it looks like it's a beautiful release too, for sure.
Yeah. So, kind of talking about that, let's go to our overall score. What is your overall total or thoughts on the film?
Sure, yeah. I mean, if I could give it you know, I would at least give it I think just averaging everything out of a 4.25 out of 5. Yeah, I think that just the overall kind of film that it is, and how all the characters interact with each other, and the way it's shot, the way it's filmed, the dialogue, uh, the mystery moments, the comedic moments, the uh, twists, the turns. Yeah, all of it. I think just a easily a 4.25 out of 5, easily. What
Nice.
about you?
So, tallying all it up, it's about 3.6. And it
Okay.
just barely rounds to a 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay.
So, I agree. I recommend the movie. And I think I recommend watching this first, this version. I think
Mhm.
sound is kind of more, I would say, I think more people can digest sound films better and then
Yes.
watch the silent one afterward and then kind of compare the two.
Hmm. Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you, for those out there who are interested in the Blu-ray version from VCI, I'm looking at some of the things. Some of the bonus features. There's 3 complete versions of the Bat Whispers on 2 discs.
Oh,
The widescreen, the US 35 millimeter, and there's a British version of this too
really?
that was out. Yeah, and then there's also the 1959 The Bat with Vincent Price, complete full movie just for fun. And they said, and there's a video of the 1926 The Bat versus the Bat Whispers 1931 little featurette, and a before and after restoration of the 26 Bat, probably with the new
Wow.
story. Yeah. So
That's
there's a
really cool.
yeah, it's a huge release when they having put it out on the Blu-ray there. So yeah, lots of yeah, I'm definitely thinking about now, if I can get it for a good price, definitely getting the Blu-ray to have all those different versions on it, to be able to see what they all look like.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to have. I think I might pick it up now.
Yeah, just a lot of cool things, a lot of good extras on there, a lot of, and then what's crazy is a lot of times, releases on blue versus 4K now don't come with a lot of extras, and it's good to see people putting the time and effort into putting a lot of extras into a new older release like that.
Right. And that's why I like boutique labels because they put in the time, the effort. They give you a lot with what they sell to you. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think one of my newest favorite boutique labels is one out of Australia, Umbrella.
Mm,
Yeah, Umbrella is definitely one of my favorites as of recently. They put out just gorgeous box sets of different titles, and they're just phenomenal. They do a lot of limited editions with a lot of extras that come with it. There's just so they just put out such a good product too, and they ship things worldwide, and they're always coming really nicely packed boxes. And I mean, just recently I got um their big box set of they did like a Caligula, limited edition box, and it's like massive. It has like a tabletop book in it. There's all different guys, like 100-page book that comes with it, and
Oh wow.
reversible artwork. Yeah, it's just a huge release. It was like limited to like 5,000 worldwide. I've got pieces from Umbrella that were like pieces out of 500 worldwide, things like that. So yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff. So I'm not being um, paid to tell you all this, but I definitely like their products for sure. A lot as Umbrella stuff. They're very nice.
That's really cool. And I love hearing that though, because the studios I think are totally crapping and don't care about movies like releases anymore. It's
Hmm.
the boutiques that are going to take that market for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I could go back to the early 2000s again when DVDs were first coming out, um, uh, Anchor Bay was one of my favorite boutique labels from the early 2000s. They would put out limited edition presses of in all different forms, the big tins, these small little tins, these
Oh
uh
wow.
box. Like I have a there's one I have, the movie the Wicker Man, which was originally a movie in the '70s, and then they released it in the 2000s with Nick Cage. But the original one they actually released in a wooden box, and each wooden box was different because it was from a different tree or different piece of wood. So each
Oh,
one,
that's cool.
even though they made them out of so many, each one was made out of just wood. So instead of plastic or anything like that. So I have one right here I can show you real quick.
Here, let
But
me
yeah, like
bring this
they
down
made
here.
they made these out of you know these different wood boxes, and they opened up on the side there with little
It's so
tabs.
cool.
They made 50,000 of these worldwide. And I got one copy of this open, and I got two copies of this one still sealed. And it came with two different versions of the movie and all kinds of little extras and stuff in there. So, but I just thought that they were really neat because they came in a wood box. You know.
Now that's the one with Christopher Lee, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You
yeah,
bet.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Such a great film would be. I'll tell you if you want to jump a little further ahead in time versus the black and white stuff, this would definitely be one I'd love to discuss and talk about because very after the very first time watching it, I was like blown away. I love this movie. It's great.
Nice. All right. Well, with that, those are kind of our thoughts on the Bat Whispers. Before we go, anything you want to tell the people before we sign off?
Yeah, just to, again, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It's been
Yeah,
very
of
fun
course.
watching this older movie. And if you get anybody out there watching gets a chance, please go ahead and check it out. I think you won't be disappointed at all. And it's a great place to start in older film, viewing where you can see a lot of where techniques and things like that were started back then and which are still used today in film and a
Right.
lot of practical effects versus of course not digital stuff, so that's also something neat to look at there for sure.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, again, thanks again for coming on, and I definitely want you back on again.
Oh, appreciate it, thank you. I'd be honored to do that again for sure.
Yeah. Well, and tell the
Guys,
people where they can find you.
again, Instagram Bearded4Eyesman. You can come. I have an Amazon store too. My name on Amazon is Archangel OOP. I actually specialize in selling rare and out of print VHSs, Blu-rays, DVDs. I have about 1,200 pieces up in my store right now. So if anybody is looking for something in particular that you can't find, I might have a copy of it. Just let me know. So
That's
will
awesome.
absolutely willing to make a deal with you. So appreciate that. But again, just a lover of film and everything old, and would love to chat with anybody about rare and out of print stuff. That's where my forte lies in the world of collecting.
Definitely. And I'll have links to all that down below, guys. So make sure to follow that.
Appreciate that. And everybody, please smash the like button. Give Harrison a follow here. It's very it's fun to be around younger audience with the older titles for sure.
Yep. Well, thanks again. And with that, this has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scully, with my guest, Adam. Take care.
Take care, everybody.